things you need to get down is the relationship between the slopes of these. Parallel lines have the same slope. They're equal. Okay? Perpendicular lines, the slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. So what does that mean? That means if I had 1/3, the negative reciprocal of that would be -3. If I had, let's just say, -4/5, the negative reciprocal of that would be 5/4. If I had the number 2, what would the negative reciprocal of that be? -1/2. So that is how we know that lines are perpendicular. We look at their slopes. Same thing with lines that are parallel. And so if you go ahead and look at this first example, it says write an equation in slope-intercept form. So notice our final answer has to be in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through 3, 7, and is parallel to the line with the equation y equals 3/4 x minus 5. Okay, so it passes through this point. So we already know that we're going to somehow use 3 and 7. So now we need to find out what else we know. And we know that parallel lines have the same slope, right? So what is the slope of this equation right here? 3/4. So a parallel one will be 3/4. Okay, so basically, my line has a slope of 3/4 and it passes through the point 3, 7. So since I'm writing in slope-intercept form, remember from yesterday, this is slope-intercept form. And if you forgot, you've got that gold sheet that you can use to go ahead and find what slope-intercept form is. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the slope, 3/4. What do I do now to finish off the problem? I add the 3 and the 7. I use the point. So I'm going to plug in 7 for y and 3 for x. Now what's going to happen is I can go ahead and solve this for b. So let's go ahead. I end up getting 7 equals 9/4 plus b. What do I do now? Minus 9/4. Now, when we're finding the y-intercept here, we need to leave our answer as an improper fraction. Okay? How many fourths would 7 be? 28. So basically, I have 28 minus 9, which is what? 19. So that is my y-intercept. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I end up getting y equals 3/4 x plus 19/4. And that is your final answer. Questions? Pretty straightforward. So obviously you can guess what are we going to look at now? Perpendicular. Okay? So write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through 5, -6. So I already know I'm going to use 5, -6 and is perpendicular to the line. Okay? With the equation y equals -3/2 x plus 7. So what is the slope of my given line here? -3/2. So I need to find the slope of the line that is perpendicular to that. So perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals. So what would the negative reciprocal be?
2/3.
2/3. So those are my two pieces of information that I'm going to use. So I need to start with an equation. How am I going to start? Okay. Good, that's a great place to start. What do I do now? Yep, so I plug in -6 and 5. So I end up getting -6 equals 10/3 plus b. What do I do now to solve that? Subtract 10/3. Okay, So let's think about that. This is -6, which is actually -18/3. What is -18/3 and -10/3? Negative what? -28/3. Okay. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and plug that into my equation right here. So my equation will be y equals 2/3 x minus 28/3. Any questions? All right, you should now be able to finish your assignment and get that done for tomorrow. Okay, you have the rest of the time to work.
This will read out what you're saying.